every time. Out and in, out, in. So we're also waking up those hips a little bit. And that little bit of external rotation. Were you about to remind me, Barb? 4, 3. Bob was heels up, right, left. Here we go. Good. 4, 3. Heels to the front. We're going to do a chest press. Elbows are lower than your shoulders. So this is a good time to kind of demonstrate when we're doing push-ups. We don't want to look like this. See how my elbows are out to the side? You want them down a little bit at an angle, so you're forming an arrow position. Side, side, overhead, reaching up. If it's more comfortable, you can keep it in front. Shoulders might like it a little better. Otherwise, out to the side. 4, 3, pressing back, low. Belly's in, reach. So squeezing the shoulder blades, almost like you're reaching to touch your heels. 4, 3, knees up in front, elbows to knees. So we're starting to wake up those abs. All right, hamstring curls. We're gonna squeeze. Elbows can be out, they can be in, but I really want you to think small motion moving backwards. 4, 3, we've got our penguins lift. So legs are locked out, knees are straight. Toes are pulled up, you're kind of flat-footed. You should be feeling your cheeks by now. 4, 3, forward step and reach. Reach. 4, 3, 2. All right, we're gonna add that little turn. So you step forward with the right foot, turn to the right. Step forward with the left foot, turn to the left. So we don't want to step out to the side, right in front. All right, backward step, open and close. So weight stays over that front foot. So we want to try to avoid doing this if we can. 2, arms go overhead, reaching up. Arms are straight, so we don't want to give up. We don't want to say, oh, to heck with it. We want to celebrate. 3, 2, feet hip width apart. We're going to squat down and up. Just start with our little hip hinge, our short stop squat. 4, 3, 2. All right, we're gonna take it down and we're gonna hold it. We're just gonna do itty bitty pulses, really small. Weight is in your heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes. You don't have to be super deep. 4, 3, we're gonna jog it out. So jog it out. March is an option. Just reach and pull, getting those heart rates up and elevated just a little bit. 4, 3, jumping jacks, out and in. So low impact or high, you decide. Arms can go all the way up, or they can stay a little bit low. 4, 3, heel jog, or hamstring curls. Just make the motions a little bit big if you're doing the curls, because we're trying to get that heart rate and your breathing to go up a little bit. All right, skaters, here we go. Skate. 4, 3, 2. All right, we're gonna march it out. We're gonna grab that wonderful drink of water. So we've got an upper body and a lower body, 40 seconds work, 10 seconds rest. We have 3 rounds. So what you can do, first round, keep the weight a little bit light. Consider it to be a warm-up round. And then you can go a little heavier for the next 2 if you want to. All right, so first exercise, squats. Second exercise, rows. I can use the same weight for both, so that's what I'm going to do. So squats and rows. So again, you can start with a light weight and then go heavier later, or just keep it the same for both. So squats, 3, 2, 1. Your time is on. So 40 seconds. Your squats, your arms can be wherever they need to be. You can absolutely do this body weight. You don't have to use weights. You can do our suitcase carries, our suitcase squats down and up. You can rack it. They call this the racked position. You can go down and up with it at your chest or at your shoulders. You can hold a weight at your chest, like when we do a goblet squat. Lots of different options. You guys keep going. Can't see my timer. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to get into that row position. So option 1 is hips back. Option 2 is here. Remember, we don't want to come up to the armpit. We want to go back by squeezing our shoulder blades together. So your time is on. So I want you to all check too. If you're bringing your hands back and your hands are coming back by your hips and your elbows are cocking up like this, you're getting movement of your shoulders and it's not going to feel good. I want you to squeeze the shoulder blades together and open up that chest. So it's not about how far back we go. It's about bringing it right to where your rib cage is. And we're squeezing those shoulder blades together. We also want to make sure we're not hunkered over. Right? Good. Let's bring it up. Nice and tall. Round 2, back to our squats. Decide if you want to keep the weight, ditch it, or go heavier. Here we go. Down and up. So we've got squats now. We've got deadlifts later. So remember, with squats, chest stays away from the thighs. Deadlifts, we bow to the queen. So even if your squats are shallow, I want that chest up. I don't want to see anybody's heads going forwards this way. Sit your backside back into that chair. This is a shallow squat, but it's still a really good one. And my chest is still lifted. I can still look ahead and see where I'm going. Good. Let's get ready for those rows. So nice and tall, you folded your hips, and we do a squeeze up and down. So here's your test. Can you do a row without bending your elbows? If you can't, you might be using the wrong muscles. So we don't want to be upright and hunkered over and pulling our pants up, right? We're pulling back and squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're working those muscles that are for our posture. You have 8 more seconds. So up and back, bringing the hands towards where the hips and the ribs come together. Good. Get ready for round 3. We're going to do our squats. So pick your hand position. 3, 2, 1. Down and up. So we just alternate lower body, upper body. So imagine if you had to pick up your suitcases, got to pick up the grocery bags. We don't want to pick them up this way because then we put a lot of stress on our back. We want to stay tall, keep it close to our bodies, reaching down. So again, it doesn't have to be deep. It can be a shallow squat and still be a really good one. 5 more seconds. Good. All right, we're going to get ready for our rows. Last time. So remember, check your position. We don't bend over this way. We fold forwards. And your time is on. This is one where if you've got a chair nearby, you can fold and you can put your forehead on that chair to make sure that you're keeping a good position and that you're not upright and pulling up towards your armpits or upright and trying to go backwards. We want to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze your bra strap if you've got one. If you don't, squeeze an orange back there. You have 7 more seconds. And then we're gonna set the weights down, take a break, and go to the second set. Good, bring it up. Set those weights down if you'd like to. Grab a drink. Second round. We're going to do reverse lunges and lateral raises. So for this one, I'm gonna use 2 different weights. So have them accessible if you need them. So I'm gonna go with a heavier weight for my lunges and a lighter weight for my lateral raises, but use what you got. So 3, 2, and 1. So reverse lunges. I'm just holding the weights, just down by my side. We're alternating right, left, stepping back like we want to drop the knee. We're gonna drop to a knee. Now sometimes we take a really little step and then we wind up pushing our knee forwards. So don't be afraid to take a little bit of a bigger step going backwards. Back heel stays lifted and we drop that knee down towards the ground. And again, it can be a shallow lunge and still be a good one. Shoulders stay over your hips, dropping down. Good. Let's switch. Lateral raises. I'm using 5s. This is when you want to tend to go with a lighter weight. Good, time is on. Now we have 40 seconds. A little bit of a longer stretch for a small muscle. So option always right, left. But notice if I'm doing right, left, what am I not doing? I'm not swinging and I'm not leaning. So if you're alternating, especially when the weight gets a little heavier, you get a little more core work because you're trying not to lean to the side. If you want to make it a little harder, stand on one leg, stand on a balance beam. 3, 2, and 1. Set the weights down. If you want to, reverse lunges. All right, your time is on. So reverse lunge. So on that front leg, your weight is in your heel. You should be able to wiggle your toes. So when you step back, you fold a little bit at the crease in the hip, but you still keep your shoulders over your hips. You don't want to bend forwards. We also want to try not to go back. So think about this is how we get up and down off the floor. No toddler get-ups with our backsides in the air. We use this, even if that means you have a hand on a couch. Good, let's set it down. Lateral raises. All right, time is on. I'm gonna keep going with alternating. My shoulders are feeling pretty good today. I wanna keep them that way. So, I do palms facing forwards. You can do palm facing down if your shoulders are okay with it. You can also do what they call a scapular raise, where you come up at an angle. So it's not straight out, it's not straight in front, 30 to 45 degrees. So here's that math you never thought that you would ever use in your life. 30 to 45 degrees. Arms just need to come parallel to the floor. Last one. Good. All right, reverse lunges. Last time. All right, your time is on. Now, if you want to do forward lunges, you can. But again, you guys know, most of you know, if you've got knee issues, reverse lunges tend to feel better and cause less stress on your knee, just because you kind of get into position a little more naturally and it keeps you in a better spot. But if you want to step forward and drop, you absolutely can. Good, you've got about 5 more seconds. We're gonna do our last set of lateral raises. Good, all right, switch weights if you're going to. All right, side raises. So if you want to do that scapular raise, It's just like you're gonna go give somebody a really big hug. I know a lot of you are anxiously awaiting that option. So just parallel to the floor. Don't need to go any higher. So if your arms are going way up here, try bringing it just to parallel. There's a physics and anatomical reason for that. So we want to keep our shoulders away from our ears, nice and relaxed. Good. All right, set it down. Grab a drink. All right, next set. Stiff leg deadlifts and tricep kickbacks. So remember, for our deadlifts, we don't want to bend over this way. It's not about touching our toes. We're squeezing our shoulder blades together. You can hold a weight here, or you can even do this. Take it back, bring it up. Stretch the hamstrings, squeeze to come tall. You decide what you want to do. I'm gonna be a little crazy today, maybe not. So, nice and tall. Shoulders down and back in your back pockets. Bow to the queen. So you're gonna push the hips back and come back up again. So in this case, our chest is gonna get a little closer to our thighs. Your time is on. Now some of you may just have one dumbbell or a heavier one or even a kettlebell, and you are welcome to do holding it behind. Sometimes this helps because it helps keep your chest nice and tall. So notice my back is staying neutral. I'm not letting it round. I can only fold at my hips. My belly button is frozen. My torso is really tight. My belly is in. So I just go forward until I feel a little stretch, and then I squeeze my glutes to push them forwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Tricep kickbacks. Tricep kickbacks. So we come to the finished position for our rows, and we reach back. So your time is on. So we've got 3 rounds of this, and it's a smaller muscle, and I decided to pick a heavier weight today for some reason. So alternate. That's what I'm gonna do. You can have feet together, hip width apart like this, or 1 foot in front, 1 foot back. So we want to make sure that we're not upright, because if we're doing this, we're actually just doing bicep curls again. We want that forward fold, and we want to reach for the wall behind us, extending that elbow. Even if your weights are light, no swinging. Good. Bring it up. Relax. Deadlifts. Round 2. Nice and tall. Feet hip width apart. Push back and up. If you're like me and you're holding the weights in front, they should be glued to your thighs. My fingers are actually rubbing against my pants when I do this. We want to make sure that we're not going really far forwards. If you feel like you're going to fall over to the front, you may be letting your arms go a little too far forwards, and you may be shifting your weight forwards instead of pushing your hips back. So nice and tall, bow to the queen. 2 and 1. Good. Tricep kickbacks. Tricep kickbacks. 3, 2, and 1. Finish position for the rows. Reach back behind you. So even if your weight is really light, what do I not want to see? Right? Even if your weight is really light, that means it should be easier to control, yeah? It should. So if your weight is light, you should be able to control it. I like to count 1, 2, 1, 2. Control it forwards and backwards. You're working the muscle both ways. When you go back, it's shortening. When you bring the hand back forwards again, it's resisting getting longer. Good. Bring it up. Roll the shoulders. Stiff leg deadlifts. Round 3. Pick what you want to do. Time is on. So just push the hips back. Come up nice and tall. So I think about, I locked my ribs and my hips together. They're best buds, they're holding hands, they cannot be separated. Push the hips back towards the wall and then come back up again, nice and tall. Good, 15 seconds to go. So you should feel a stretch about the time you get to your knees, even if you're really flexible. Might be just a little bit lower. Good, bring it up. All right, tricep kickbacks last time. You guys ready for it? All right, nice good fold. Finish position, here we go. I like this one because I'm also getting a little bit of back. I don't know if you can see, but I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together, holding the finished position for the row. Kicking it back, bringing it in. So my upper arms are in line with my torso, back and forward. So the back reach is the important part. Times like these, this is why I like mirrors. I know a lot of you guys hate them in the weight room. This is what mirrors are for, so you can see your technique. Good, bring it up, shake it out. Nice, good rest. Open and close those fingers. We have one more round up, and then we're gonna head down to the floor. And again, if you're going to the floor, you don't have to. You are welcome to stay up, yes and yes. We are gonna do lateral lunges and bicep curls. So lateral lunges, you wanna wait, great. You don't, that's okay too. So our lateral lunges is where we're going to step to the side, sit into the chair, step together, other side. An option for you, keep the legs wide, sit and center, sit and center, just like we do in warm-ups and cool downs, yeah? All right, 3, 2, 1, good. Your time is on, lateral lunges. Now I am gonna use a weight. You don't have to. You are welcome to just do in place and sit. You can add the steps if you want to. I kind of like adding in the steps. Add a little power, a little more cardio. Now we want to make sure we're not stepping and then turning. Everything stays pointing forwards. Yeah? 10 seconds, and we're just gonna do bicep curls. Nothing fancy. 3, 2, and 1. All right, bicep curls, your choice. Palms forward, palms in, doesn't matter. 3, 2, 1, good. Nice and tall. Now this is easy. If your heart rate and breathing are still pretty high, you can add in a toe lift, or you can march while you're doing this. So go based on how you feel. You can even add a heel lift if you want to. Another option, tap a heel forward. But as we're doing these, end of the weight comes towards the shoulder, not over our shoulder. So bring it up and in. Squeeze a pencil, show off those muscles. Last one. Good. All right, lateral lunges. Got about 5 more seconds. All right, your time is on. So sit back and together. It's kind of like doing a single leg squat, but you have your other leg out to the side, offering moral support and helping with your balance. So lateral lunges get a little bit more side glute. And shallow lunges are still good lunges. You still sit back into those hips. So there's a chair behind you on either side, and you want to sit down. 2 and 1, good. Bring it up, arms down, bicep curls. So palms forward, palms in, your choice. Here we go. Up and down, up and down. Good. So again, We squeeze. We don't want to let our elbow come forwards. We keep it in. But at the same time, we don't want to lock and stick our elbows into our hips and then cheat. Right down by your side. Nice and tall. Adding in a single leg stance, a balance beam, a heel lift. Lots of options. 5 more. And if it starts getting a little heavy, no leaning. Good, set it down. One thing about the heavy weights that kind of stinks is your fingers get tired. All right, side lunges. So even if you aren't using heavy weights, sometimes your fingers get tired. So if you need to set the weights down, go ahead. Or if you need to hold one weight in front, that works too. So tall posture, shoulders away from the ears. I know I nag about that one a lot, but we don't want to look like this as we age, right? We want to try to keep it nice and tall. 10 more seconds. Plus it helps, as I fall over, helps with shoulder pain. Keeping those shoulders down. 2 and 1, good. Bicep curls. So if you want to try with a lighter weight, you can do reverse curls, but it has to be a light to medium weight. Palms in, show me your hands, set it back down. This one's a little trickier, a little bit less bicep. So if it doesn't feel good, or if you're sticking your elbows out and you look like this, go back to a palms in or palms up position. This one's a little trickier. It starts getting these little muscles right on the side of your elbow. So it's a little bit less bicep and a little bit more little muscles off to the side. 5 seconds, 2 and 1. Good, set it down, grab a drink, shake it out. We're gonna get ready to head down to the floor, and we're gonna do 2 rounds of each of the next exercises instead of 3. So we are going to do either kneeling or sitting overhead presses, which means that you can stay up and just do an overhead press, yeah? Then we're gonna do fire hydrants, which is our side legs. So if you're staying upright, you can just do side leg lifts. If you're on the floor, you can do hands and knees, or you can lie on your side and do a leg lift or even a clamshell. The second set, we're gonna do push-ups or chest presses, and that means wall push-ups, right? Or banded chest press. And we're gonna do glute squeezes, which is we lay on our tummy and squeeze, or you stand and you do your leg lifts. Make sense? We should be good. You guys know, you've been working with me for what, 4 years now? 5? You got this. All right, so we're gonna start with a kneeling or a sitting overhead press, or even a front raise if it feels better. So, option 1 is standing, obviously. Option 2, you sit, and you can do an overhead press. But I want you to sit tall, I don't want you to sit hunched over. Option 3 is I want you to be kneeling, tuck that butt under, and do a press, all right? You pick which one you want to do. 3, 2, and 1. Good, 40 seconds. So I'm going to do the kneeling. I like doing kneeling as long as it feels okay on your knees. But we want to make sure that we're not pushing our hips back towards our heels. We want to tuck them under. We want a straight line from our knees to our shoulders through our hips. Now, if this is uncomfortable, again, you can always sit. But I want you to rock forwards and sit tall like your back is against a wall. So we're getting a little core as we do this. We're getting that nice, happy, neutral medium with our pelvis and our spine. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Fire hydrants or side leg lifts, lying side leg lifts. So our fire hydrants is just our hands and knees, and we go out and in like we're a puppy and we see a fire hydrant. If that's not comfortable, clamshells are awesome, and so are side leg lifts. If you're doing a side leg lift, be very sure that you're not bringing your leg in front. Straighten it out like your heel and your backside are touching a wall and your toes are pointing forward. So you should feel this right here, not right in here. 5 more seconds and we're gonna go back to our overhead presses. Good, back to overhead presses. Sitting, standing, kneeling, your choice. Nice and tall. Arms reaching up. You have 40 seconds. If the overhead press isn't feeling great, front raises are awesome, even a back press if you need to. So nice and tall. So we want to think about making sure we're not arching or pushing it back. We're squeezing our butt cheeks and our belly button is pulled in a little bit as well. Good, 8 more seconds and we're going to do our fire hydrants on the other side. Good, bring it down. All right, fire hydrants, other side. So again, side leg lifts are awesome. They work great. All right, out and in. And just like in bird dog or in push-ups, our shoulders are away from our ears. Imagine you have a dinner plate or a wine glass on your back. You don't want to let the hip come up really high and then you're going to flop over. Have you ever seen the puppies that do that when they're just learning to potty on the tree and they lift their leg and they fall over? We don't want to do that. 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and sit back. Circle those wrists. All right, we're going down for our last round. We have push-ups or chest press, or we have our banded chest press where you take the band behind you, cinch back by your ribs, and push. You can do push-ups or you can do chest presses, and then we're gonna do glute squeezes where we're on our tummy or on hands and knees, okay? So, push-ups or chest presses. 3, 2, and 1. So you've got 40 seconds. Take your time. Now, if you need to, you can do push-ups this way, but I would like you to try to shift it forwards. Doesn't have to be a big push-up, just a good one. You can do one and then rest, and then do another one and then rest. More seconds. Good. Glute squeezes. Option 1, leg is up, or we're up in hands and knees, and we do a lift. Option 2, on your tummy, and we lift one leg at a time, lift and lower. It's a very small movement. You're keeping your legs straight and you're squeezing your glute like you're trying to lift your entire leg from your hip all the way down to your toe. You can also have the knee bent like you're pushing the heel and the bottom of the foot towards the ceiling. You can also be in hands and knees or even standing as you do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. All right, we're going back to our push-ups or our chest press. All right, your time is on. Seconds to go. You're over halfway. Nice and strong. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. We're gonna do our leg lift on the other side, our glute squeeze, whether it's hands and knees or on your tummy or even standing. Good, lift and lower. With this one, it's very important your belly button stays pulled in. We don't want to lift so high that we arch our back. Protect that core. On your tummy, also an option. Just lift and lower. I like to exhale on the lift, inhale on the way down. 8 seconds to go. And then we're gonna stretch. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Go ahead and relax. If you're down, hands and knees and tummy, just rest your chin on your hands or on an upturned fist. If you are standing, just go ahead and find a chair that you can sit in and just find a nice, comfortable position with your back supported. Just nice and tall. We're just trying to relax the front side of our body, get our heart rate and breathing down a little bit. So nice deep breaths in and then deep breaths out. Good. Now we're going to carefully come up to hands and knees for doing our cat-cow. Even if you're in a chair, you do the same thing. You just sit forward, you have your feet flat, hands on your thighs. So I take my knees wide and have my toes pointing. We're going to inhale, lift the chest, gentle arch of the back. And then we're going to exhale, tuck the pelvis, tuck our chin, and then we're going to push our hips back towards our heels. And we're going to try to stretch from our neck all the way down to the top of our hips. Good, let's bring it back up. We're going to inhale and arch. And then we're going to exhale, press the floor away, tuck the pelvis, and we're just going to sit back nice and gentle. Good. We're going to hold this position. We're going to walk our hands back closer to our knees, and we're going to be sitting in a frog position. You can always tuck your toes under. You can also always put a pillow or something between your butt and your heels. But what we want to do is we want to sit back. We're going to take our hand and place it lightly behind our ear. We're going to do elbow to elbow, and then we're going to open out to the side like we open and close the book. So if you are sitting in a chair, hand on the thigh, you're going to kind of do the same thing. You're looking down at your feet, and we're just going to do our little rotation. So nice and tall, kind of in that frog position. Good, we're gonna switch, and we're gonna go to the other side. So the goal for this is we want it to be torso movement. And if your torso is kind of tight and it doesn't like doing a lot of rotating like this, it's okay. Just go through your range of motion. If your elbow doesn't touch your elbow, it doesn't matter, as long as you're thinking about opening and closing that book. Good, let's do one more. All right, good. We're gonna carefully come up, and we're gonna come to half kneeling. If you need to come up to standing, you can. But again, take your time. If you are sitting, you are going to sit sideways in a chair. So your leg is off the front of the chair, and this side is facing the back of the chair. But we're going to be nice and tall. We're going to tuck that pelvis, gentle push forwards, and a little bit different today. So watch your back. And check your balance. You're gonna channel your inner ballerina and you're gonna reach. And it's less about reaching back and more about reaching up and adding this little bit of extra stretch in your hips. So you wanna elongate the front of your body. Good, and here's a little challenge for you. We're gonna bring our hands down and I wanna see if you can touch the floor right by the inside of your foot. If you can't, it's okay. You can have your hands on your thighs, but I just want you to reach. A little bit of an inner thigh stretch. If you are flexible, my yogis, you can also try dropping it down a little bit farther, but pain-free range of motion. Good, let's carefully bring it back up. And now we're going to do the other side. So I just turn, whatever you gotta do. So same thing on the other side, nice and tall. We're gonna tuck our pelvis, gentle push forwards, and then again, it's palms in, and it's less of a reach back and more of a reach up, reaching the fingers towards the ceiling, elongating that body. So think about trying to get your fingertips and your knee as far away from each other as you can, stretching the front of that body. Good, and let's go ahead and bring it forward again. And we're gonna fold forwards if you can, hands just inside next to your foot. For those of you that are a little more flexible, you can always try to drop it down a little bit more. It's just a little bit of a different hip stretch. Don't force it, don't do anything. Don't try to get your elbows to the floor just because. Mine are not getting there. Good, let's go ahead and bring it back up. Take a nice deep breath in and we're gonna go ahead and come to standing. If you need to stay seated, that is okay as well. We're just gonna do a nice good stretch. So ribs are tucked and we're just gonna open. Now if you wanna take it a little bit deeper, you can also reach the fingers back. You'll feel a deeper stretch in your bicep and you should start to feel it a little bit more in your middle finger. Shoulders away from the ears. Good, bring it in. Shoulders are away from the ears. Hands to shoulders, neutral spine and chin. Walk it back. Good, bring it down. Take the legs a little bit wide. We're gonna do clockwork. So, we're gonna bring our arms up. We're going to tilt to the right. Then we're going to circle it around to the front. Then we're gonna circle it around, side bend left, and then back up. Good, one more time going the other direction. So just a little side bend. And then we're gonna trace the clock. Circle around, bring it back up. Good, arms away from the ears. Big breath in 2 times. Breathe in and out. One more time, breathe in and out. All right, you're all done.